Yo, what is up, everybody? It is the King Hitman, and it's not just me today, all right? Now, I know usually I got my special co-host Greg. That's my dog, but I ain't gonna lie, things went a little sideways. Me and Greg, we can't, we fell out, all right? We're not really cool the same way anymore. So, I'm just playing. I'm just messing with
Wow,
y'all. I'm
okay.
just playing. But this week Greg is away. All right, we wish Greg the best. All right, we know as long as he's doing well, we're doing well. But I did find a special guest. I got my dog with me, man. RaudoKun. Rao, what's going on?
Dude, about time that we can be able to get something done. Here, let's go. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Of course, if you guys already know, King Hitman and Greg do discussions regarding the Daima episodes whenever they come out. So happy to be here as a little guest or sort of like replacement for
We're
that
happy to
little
have you,
episode.
man. We're happy to have you, Mr. Special Guest. All right, so I figured we would just start off with a synopsis of episode four. Episode four being titled, was it Chatty? It is Chatty. We had a lot going on this episode. This episode was really, I want to say high flying might be the word. It definitely had the most real action we've seen. You know, like recapping the Boo saga, I wouldn't quite count that. But this episode, now we're fists are flying, right? You mean, shoot, it's fair to say that. So let's go through it. So a synopsis of the episode: we had the stolen plane, right? Like Glorio's plane got jugged last episode, so he's dealing with the repercussions of that. These guys are mainly walking, and then we'll get to a method of travel they have in the demon realm that seems pretty normal to them. We had the stolen plane. Then we had the Sea of Darkness. They had to pass over that. They did use flight. It seems natural to most demons to be able to fly, unlike, like Earth or anything like that. Then we went to Goku got into a little hand-to-hand combat, a little scuffle, right? A little one-hit KO. He handled business real there. Um, the restaurant scene was real interesting because it added a very, very big question. All right, and so we'll get into that later on. And then we had I don't even know if I'm saying. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. The Gendarmerie, the police force, and they're recognizing Goma as being their new demon king. So that's definitely going to be the biggest plot point of the demon realms and how they're changing. And then finally, we had the addition of what seems like is going to be a main character as part of the crew. I don't know her name yet, but that was kind of the point, right? And everything in between all of this added a lot to the either the plot or the lore of Dragon Ball. So Raud, I know it's a lot, but are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's some interesting little nitpicks that happened during that episode that kind of like will be sort of like the future kind of like power up that the new characters are gonna have, and there's some pretty interesting things and developments happening throughout these episodes. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Starting off once again, let's just run it all back through. The stolen plane. I found it funny just because Goku's reaction to everything. Like he's just classic Goku. Then they're walking, they're on foot. One thing I took note of early, well, maybe midway through the episode, once Goku got into that little scuffle with the giant orc, Glorio doesn't understand. He didn't know what ki was. He Goku knocks this giant Shrek-like monster down in one kick, and Glorio's like, "How did you know he was there?" Goku explains to him, like, "I sensed his ki. I knew he was there. Like, come on, you." And Glorio's like, "That's a weird little ability." Like, he didn't say it, but he was clearly caught off guard by that ability. Do you think all demons can, like, they don't have a natural ability to sense ki? Do you think it didn't matter to them, or do you think it's just Glorio and he's so talented he's gotten this far?
I feel like it's I feel like it's Gloria. There's some mystery going over there because if we go back away from Daima, we look at Deborah, somebody that comes from the demon realm, and he's under control of Babidi. Maybe Babidi gave him the capabilities for him to sense ki. Of course, this is of course during Dragon Ball Z. But going over to here, maybe some of the like demon realm how would I say it? Inhabitants, they would not feel key in this like certain aspect because these guys for for them, Goku is like an alien. They don't know where Goku comes from. Of course, it's from Earth, but he's like a completely different specimen to their eyes. And it's like, oh, you're able to pick up this type of energy. How did you picture them out? So yeah, it's interesting that he's like one of the most curious characters in Daima as of yet. We haven't seen like most of what he can be able to do or capable of doing.
Yeah,
Maybe
we're only
so.
scratching the surface.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like he still doesn't have the capabilities of like looking through the whole key aspect of things. Maybe he's starting to learn it from Goku now that he's over there. So
That makes sense. So yeah, I just found it, like things like that just seem so basic in Dragon Ball at this point. Like it's almost innate for characters to be able to do it. So it was definitely something I had to take note of real quick. And
I know
Dragon Ball
definitely. Yeah.
being Dragon Ball, and just Daima seems to be very, I don't want to say beginner level because it's very advanced already. I want to say OG Dragon Ball. Like it pays a lot of homage, right? Homage.
Yeah.
You see it. So just little scenes like Goku when they get into this restaurant, right? After they fight the orc. And by the way, I didn't even speak about Glorio gave hands to one of those sea demons, like the Sea of Darkness that he told Goku, don't go in there or you'll automatically perish. He
Yeah.
gave a
Yeah.
little right cross, and I think it was like a spin kick to one of those
Yeah.
sea demons. Handle business, yo. I like Glorio. How do you like him as a character so far, man? You warming up to him, or you got too many questions? I know he's real shady so far.
I mean, yeah, we're starting to know a little bit more for him because again, we're starting like this is episode 4, so we're starting to get a little bit more in touch with the demon realm and everybody in it. So, I mean, so far, yeah, he has been like the little guardian type of character, just guiding Goku and Shin or Supreme Kai just
Yeah,
around the
thank
demon
you.
world.
Finally, someone else calls him Shin. I've been doing it like so under my breath. I don't know if anybody's gonna catch what I mean when I say Shin.
Yeah, that is his actual name. So there you go. But yeah, like he's being like the little guide so far for the demon world. We still don't know. Well, the main purpose is to like rescue Dende. So, but what will be the purpose for him in trying to like rescue that? We did get a little bit of a tidbit of a hint during this episode of something like a new plan. Instead of like going directly to Dende and try to save him, they are possibly gonna go shift gears and try to get the demon realm's Dragon Balls to see if they can be able to make a wish and save Dende at the same time.
The funny part about that is they're not even getting the Dragon Balls just because they want to make a wish, bro. They're getting the Dragon Balls because Goku wants to see if he can knock the Tamagami out. Like, he wants to see if he can beat them up. He
Yep.
just, you know.
He's obsessed. He just wants to, like, oh, are you strong? I want to
Like,
style.
what? He got hands? For real? Classic. Like, bro, this is the Goku we mean about. He got hands? Word? I bet. Say less.
Definitely.
So I like that. I like that we're gonna, juggle multiple things at one time. Obviously, we haven't even since the start of episode 2, essentially, we haven't even gotten back to Goma and Degetsu, Ardensu. We don't know much about what they've got going on now since they left with Dende. So we'll, in the midst of, chasing down Dende, I'm sure they'll be gathering Dragon Balls, and also we'll be seeing what the plot for the villains, or I guess I should just say for now the antagonist, is gonna be for the story. But as we get further along, they stumble into a restaurant, right? A little small town restaurant. I don't I don't want to make too much of it, but I just like the little details. One little detail, well, I guess it was a lot of little details at once. The animations on the show are they're so smooth, right?
Yeah,
Like Goku's
they're so
eating
good.
his snacks. Yeah, he's eating his snacks. He's drinking his little drink. He doesn't like the drink, but you guys know Goku. He'll eat anything. And the animations for it, I just thought it was gonna be like real low quality. We're just getting through the next couple seconds. It's like really detailed. Things like that, I just want to pay attention to and appreciate because we've seen our fair share of, let's go with, bad frames in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So it's really dope to have those classic Goku moments. Once again, just a lot of homage. I felt it, right? But in that restaurant scene, that wasn't the key point. One thing they were trying to figure out is how they're gonna traverse the third demon world. now that they don't have their plane. And Glorio made an emphasis to say it is very exhausting and straining to travel by flight, like natural. We can all fly, but just traveling by flight in the third demon realm at least is very difficult. They needed a way to get around. And one thing the restaurant owners were, it's a husband and wife. The wife was calling, this is also funny, right? Just anime, Dragon Ball. She was calling to the husband and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. And she's like, hey, come out here. He's like, huh? I. And he's negotiating with Glorio to figure out how much they're going to pay to get on, I believe, yeah, a Sky Seed. It's essentially let me ask you, Rao. Did it remind you of a certain method of travel in OG Dragon Ball? Did it make you think of anything, or once I say it, maybe you'll peep it?
Yeah, no, no, a little homage to our good boy Mercenary Tao. It is
Yeah.
a
Okay.
little
Good. I thought
little
I was tripping a little
yeah,
bit.
no. It kind of looked like it, yeah, once you picture it out. I was more thinking about the, like, since it's the sky seed, it was like a little flower. And it reminded me of that, just like a little mountain lion kind of flower ish. I think that's what it's called, but it is like a little homage to Mercenary Tao and how they
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
fly,
yeah. No,
yeah.
I definitely, I see exactly. I know, bro. I thought I was tripping when I saw it, and then I paused the video, and I'm like, I paused the Crunchyroll, and I'm like, no, that's definitely like not an accident that they're riding on this stupid stick. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like it, man. I like it a lot. So yeah, they're negotiating. There seems like Glorio is very good at haggling, right? Like lowering prices. But anyway, the wife is shouting at the husband to get him to hear what Glorio is saying, and Glorio's like, "What? Like you charging me 8K? Man, I'm not." And he says it under his breath. And then the husband jumps over. He's like, no, 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 I'll lower it to 5. Whole time this guy could hear really well. He just was giving him a hard time. I like things like that, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, before they leave the restaurant itself, Goku stumbles upon something. This is what I was talking about when I said it was really important, but I'm not sure if we're gonna make a lot of it yet. He found these little bugs, these little souvenir bugs that have very special abilities. They're called Medibugs. Now, the list of bugs that she said were the Revive bug, essentially sounds exactly like a sensu bean, a burn bug, a headache bug, a beauty bug, and Rao, did you peep what one of the most important bugs was, man? Could you tell the
Ah,
audience?
there is, of course, just everybody should know that this is like spoiler alert. So make sure to see the episode before we,
Yeah,
we
of
get
course.
into the
I don't
details
even
of
know
it.
how you
But
got this far.
no, no, just joking. But there could be the possibility of fusions happening over in Daima because of this little, like, last bug that was shown over there. Very important. So that's gonna be like the new type of power ups that they have. On Dragon Ball, they focus on the sensu beans, which was just an edible item where it can be able to restore your stamina. In this case scenario, we got these little edible or like souvenir bugs that we have. So we did see the variety of those, and that is just the key point of the episode, making it an ability to, it's like, oh wait, things gonna be getting heated now, exciting for like these new little power ups they're gonna have.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot because it's one of those things they throw it out there, and next thing you know, we're all theorizing. Like, oh, what if we get Kakarado, or what if we get a Vegito like
Yeah.
2.0? What if we get a Gogeta and canon, not just to Dragon Ball Super, but to Dragon Ball Daima? Like, well, I shouldn't say canon to Dragon Ball Super. He's just canon now, right? But like, just the idea of all these different fusion ideas, or like who knows what they're gonna do with it. The reason I don't want to overhype it is because knowing Toriyama, just the jokes that he tells, it could end up being like Goku drops all of them in the middle of like episode 9, and now he doesn't have access to any of them, right? Or it could just be like, oh, he tries to eat them, and whole time it was literally just a souvenir. It was just a trick toy like that you would sell to a little kid. It doesn't actually do anything. But at the same time, the demon realm is so interesting. So do you think that the Medibugs are going to come in useful? Do you think that they're just a little trick? If you do think they'll be valuable, when do you think it would be a situation where they're going to take advantage of it? Like the final battle, maybe somewhere in the middle of the second realm? Like, what do you think? What were the thoughts that crossed your mind when you saw that?
So maybe knowing how Dragon Ball goes, they like if you recall it yourself when it's like dropping it or like losing it, like if they possibly might do that as a little homage to that section where Gohan just drops the Potara and cannot be able to fuse with Goku. So they might do that, or even maybe since again they're like foreigners to that kind of like world, so if they for whatever scenario they just eat it and nothing happens, and then they will have to wait like a few more episodes for something to happen, it's like, oh well, there's the little like prolonging so we can get to the main scenario. It's like, oh, finally the bug is working. Or we see it every single time, like in the openings and the endings, where of course Vegeta and Piccolo are possibly going to make their way there in some certain points. But we will possibly get to see, because later down down this episode we were going to talk about like the little teaser that happened on the fifth. That's going to happen on the fifth episode, but there's going to be new rivals, new people coming in, and possibly going to try to stop Goku and friends. But yeah, for now I feel like maybe later down the line it's like an item that Goku really wants to try out, but there's not like a
Yeah,
opponent or
what
thing.
he tried to give it like, hey, let's just fly and then use the revive bug and then fly again. And
Yeah.
Supreme Kai and Gloria were like, we don't like bugs,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. But see, that's another thing. It's like they notice that they don't like them. It's like, maybe they don't consume those types of things. It's like rare souvenirs that the lady herself said that they don't buy frequently.
Yeah, no one uses them. Exactly, exactly. So it gives you a little red flag right there. Like, why wouldn't anybody want something as powerful as this? It's certainly going to be interesting, man. So as we progress, right? Like I said, let's just go from the point of they land off the sky seat. They had to jump off before it crashed, and they refused the Medibugs. We get to a waterfall. Goku drinks some water. There was there was a fish in the water, but that was nothing serious, right?
Yeah.
And we get to a village, and the village is just, it's one of those like desolate. You could tell things is gonna be real sad vibes around here. Ain't nothing ain't nothing happy going on around here. And they set the tone. The Gendarmerie, the police force of the demon realm, was dishing out orders, and they're telling the villagers like, yo, I want you to know you have a new king. You know your old king is gone. Your new king is King Goma. You will acknowledge him as such. And one thing about Goma, he felt like y'all just aren't, y'all aren't quite grateful enough. I don't like the offerings you give your king. Which, this is a question, just a little side question. We saw Deborah's statue, and we see like he's holding up the peace sign, like he's giving off real Hercule vibes. Maybe he's loved by the people, and then the idea of, you have to give your king offerings or else there's massive consequences. One thing about every demon that we saw in this episode, except the one at the very end, the little girl, right? All of them have these magic collars on. Like they're like essentially like just a magical accessory that clearly makes sure people can't do whatever they want, right? You can't flee, you can't run away. If we want to punish you, we punish you. I want to see what actually did she have one on? Shoot, if I'm wrong, I apologize. But we saw all but a few of the demons so far have had them on. I want to see what the capabilities of that collar are, because it was said by the police force, if you run, we'll find you using your collar, so there's no point. Goma wants more money. Goma just wants to feel appreciated. I mean, it's definitely an ego trip. And when we point back to Deborah and that statue he had last episode, do you think Deborah was like a real hard-nosed, iron-fist king of the demon realm, or do you think he was more loved by the people and they're gonna turn on Goma and feel like, no, like you're burning us out, you're not really for us, we miss our old king, even if we can't have him back, we damn sure can't have you. How do you think they thought of Deborah so far through 4 episodes?
Yeah, so I think I have a little theory with that. So, of
Ooh,
course,
go ahead.
the people right now watching Daima, this was always gonna be like catered to kids going into like Dragon Ball for the first time. So they don't even know that Deborah was somebody who existed in the demon world up until now, because they're starting to see Daima. But if we remember correctly, Deborah, I actually don't remember if he had this on the statue, but I don't know if he had the Majin mark on the top of his forehead or on his little like belt, or it showed the little M sign from Babidi just taking control of him. But if he didn't have that, then that means that just in general, the Babidi was just part, or just going into the demon world to try to get a henchman of some kind to just try to, hey, you're gonna work for me now, and you're going to come over to Earth. We're gonna beat down whoever we need to beat down and create the ultimate demon, which was gonna be Majin Buu. So I'm thinking back, it's like maybe Deborah was mind controlled by Babidi by that time, and he got consumed with the Majin power. So Babidi had to obey every single thing that, Deborah had to obey every single thing that Babidi stated, and be brought to Earth, do all the shenanigans that happened in the Majin Buu saga. So I'm kind of thinking that since he was the previous king, maybe he was beloved by the people, there wasn't any chaos or anything like that up until his death, which of course was brought upon the people from Earth, and there was the new king. So I'm thinking that he was maybe like a nice guy before everything happened, before everything went down, and then Babidi just took control over him. That's what I think. That's my little theory.
I like that. I like the idea of just a heel turn, right? Like we both
Yeah.
like wrestling, right? Just the super heel turn, and he just becomes just the meanest guy you could think of. Would be really a good idea of. So far, all we've really done since they touched down is we've developed the demon world. We figured out the rules. We figured out the atmosphere, the environments. You know, certain things are really weird. Certain things are really acceptable. So we're seeing what they do and do not do around there. I think it would be cool if they just had, I guess just one episode would do. They have a flashback just just breaking down what it was like when Deborah was king. And I think that would give a lot of credence to why they wouldn't want Goma as king, or why no one ever thought about giving Lil Goma power, because they say he's very crafty and he's very smart and he's sneakily powerful. That would give a lot of explanation to why he would never serve under, or they would never serve under him. So maybe we'll circle back to that. But then we get into, like, we're Dragon Ball fans, right? We love the violence. We get into a little hand-to-hand combat. You know, the people are being essentially just enslaved and harassed, and Goku's not going for it. But right before Goku steps in, we see a new character, a little demon girl. She steps up to the plate. She has a hoodie on. She got a mask on, and she throws out a little grenade. You're thinking like, oh yeah, she about to save the day. Like, shoot, who knows what she got going on? It's giving off Jacko vibes, like Hero of Justice.
Yeah.
And the grenade doesn't go off. And so one thing is, you know, when moments have to be moments, Goku's gonna step up to the plate. Goku steps up with his power pole. I'm loving it. With his power pole, the Nyobo whacks like what must have been like 30 dudes, round? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Like 30, 40 dudes? I mean, sheesh. And he handles business. Animation, I liked it. I really think just episode to episode, the idea of the bar. Once I said this a lot with Greg, the idea of there being a bar and they're constantly meeting it is really, really dope. So I'm happy that this is going on. But yeah, you have this couple minutes of action. They handle business and they escape, they flee, and now they know Goku's face for sure, right? Like, they're like, he's not just in a little bar getting into fights anymore. He's a fugitive now, as Glorio said.
Yeah.
He keeps calling Glorio Glorio, I think it was. He's like, no, that's not my, like, say my name,
Yeah, that's
right?
not my name.
But yeah, we wrap up the episode. But how did you feel about those final scenes? Just Goku, I mean, shoot, he's kicking their teeth in, man. I mean, ain't really much to talk about, but did you have any thoughts about those final moments?
Oh, dude, the fight was so good. The animation for it was spectacular. I feel like they could keep going better and better every single episode. So yeah, the fight scene was pretty nice. The use of the power pole as well was pretty. Just give me Dragon Ball vibes again. It's just beautiful to see. then yeah, we got the little mysterious character that was gonna be like, let's go ahead and save the day here. Let's see what happened. So that's another like mysterious little character that we're gonna get a lot more details in the next episode. Pretty sure, but. Yeah, the last few scenes, of course, the fight was fantastic. Then, just Gloria saying, "Hey, listen, you messed up, so
Yeah, like,
you're
bro,
now
now
a
you put
fugitive."
us all at risk. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like, well,
The reckless abandon.
yeah. Then that's in Goku's nature. Like, I'm gonna try to save people who are going to try to take advantage of others. So yeah, he went ahead and saved them. They actually, I think, after the episode, they were not like around the area anymore. Just Goku fleeing with Shin and Gloria. They were just going away, and then bam, shows up the new character. Of course, the name is on the wiki. I'm not gonna mention it just for the sake of the suspense.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay,
So-
okay. I didn't peep.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's there, it's available, but I'm not gonna mention it just so we can continue the suspense. Maybe in the next episode, you guys
I
can be able to
bet.
hear that. But yeah, we got that new little teaser for that special character who's gonna show up. It's like a little girl. Of course, she's one from the demon world. She got the little characteristics from it. But she doesn't seem to be like this type of fighter. She's just like a masked
Yeah, for
person,
sure.
like a
You're dead
superhero.
right. Keep going. There he is.
Yeah, so she's not like a fighter right there. So you compare it to Jacko, where Jacko has like a little gun, right, in Resurrection of F. But there's like a little girl who's just like, oh, okay, listen, I'm not with the injustice. I will fight for the people in the demon world and try to like save some people, like be a hero actually. So that's a pretty nice little introduction. And again, I feel like since it's catering to kids and all that stuff, I feel like that's a very neat little touch that they're doing. So very happy to see that. And of course, she kind of stopped Goku and friends and be like, hey, who are you guys? Like, and that's where, of course, the episode ends. But that is basically gonna be the lead up for the next episode, as to just making the introductions, what they're gonna do, and see if they can be able to get them in. Because of course, after, like, if you guys see the episodes, whenever, like, it usually goes into like commercial where just Goku just cuts in, does a little choreography, and then the logo shows up, and then after that it does the same thing, but this character shows up in the little like cutscene, and then it goes back to the episode.
I didn't peep that.
So yeah, she has been shown. It's like we haven't like actually seen what she's capable of doing or what she is going to be in this little topic of
Yeah, I had
the
peeped her in
series.
the outro, and maybe it was the intro, but I know for a fact she's in the outro. I didn't peep she was in the. You're saying like you said the commercial in between breaks,
Yeah,
right?
like those. So yeah, I'm thinking that she just shows up like randomly, and again, very nice. So we can be able to see what she's all about. Maybe in the next episode, maybe they can give her some more storytelling for her.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Like every episode, it's not the same as Super for me, quite because like I'm patiently waiting. Super was like, bro, I'm scratching my face off waiting for this next episode. I'm fiending, bro, just because I don't know. It just had been so long since we had Dragon Ball, like fresh week to week content. So it was just a different era, right? But now watching Daima, I love just waiting for the next episode. Like they're slowly but very surely building up what they plan on doing, and I like it. I really do. I love the pacing of the show thus far. A couple things that I took note of that we hadn't mentioned yet is Glorio explicitly states that there is one Dragon Ball in each of the three realms. Total of 3 Dragon Balls. You get all 3. You get to make your wish. Now we don't know the rules of their wish. I don't. Hey, correct me if you know, because like I didn't look through the wiki or anything like that. But if you summon their equivalent of Shenrong or Purunga, we don't know what that dragon's name is. We don't know what that dragon looks like. I'm not sure. I definitely want to I want to see what he looks like without getting spoiled. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets summoned, people are going to post it on whether it be their favorite social media or Discord. Like people are gonna ruin it for us. So I gotta make sure when that episode drops, where they finally get all three of them, I gotta watch it immediately. All
Yeah.
right. But another thing I noticed, just a little funny, I giggled because we've been seeing this little image for a couple months now of Goku when he's really happy and he's like jumping in the air back and forth like haranguing. We
Yeah.
finally got that little moment right after, I want to say right after they landed. Yeah, after he gives the explanation of how the Dragon Balls work. Goku's like, yeah, like I get
Yeah.
to fight new people, like yeah, and they're strong. Say less. This is what I'm here for. So we one thing about that scene and the past episodes since Glorio's arrived is he's very dodgy about questions, and we're trying to figure out what he's here for, what exactly his motives are. He says he wants to handle Goma, and but after you handle Goma, then what? Like, what is your goal? Why are you here? And who is this king that sent you? One thing I do assume, I assume that king is the one that was sitting in the chair in the intro, that bull type creature. We'll see what that's about. But yeah, did you have any thoughts on the constant tension between Glorio and Shin? They seem to always have these little mini stare downs. They're getting along. It almost seems like they're getting along for Goku's sake. Like they're not arguing or anything like that, but it's like these contentious moments, and clearly it's gonna boil over at some point because they had a little 2 second stare down in this episode. Did you have any questions about Glorio you want answered right now, or anything you've noticed about how he acts or how he answers questions?
Uh, you were a bit more observative because when I was going through the episode, I kept thinking that there was nothing like revealing just yet about him. So yeah, picturing that tension. Of course, the main thing is that I, he might have just said this. You can be able to tell me if it has already been shown, but we don't know Glorio's objective, right? I think it's just to like take down the king himself, or just to like stop whatever they're planning. But you know that Shin's brother, that was the guy who took Dende. So that's what they're planning on doing, just trying to get Dende back. And we don't know if there's any like little controversy between them in terms of like what they're going to be planning. Seems like
Yeah, like we're not even sure Glorio cares about Dende for like he says like this Dende fellow, what if he gets killed or anything like that. That's he's giving them ideas of what to do with the Dragon Balls, but like you're saying, we're not quite sure. Like, does he really want to help people, or maybe he wants to? Who knows? We could really go 100 directions with it. Maybe he wants to seize power and take that for himself. Maybe he steps back and he's like, "Listen, my job is done here, so I'm going back to my home world, which is the third realm." Like he says, I believe he says he lived in like I assume was raised in the third. He serves in the second, or was it the first? Damn it, I can't remember. But yeah, Supreme Kai Shin was questioning him, and it was getting real weird. So it's just like you're basically saying, there's a lot of questions, a lot of weird stuff going on. But that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, shoot, we've been recording for a little while anyway, so I won't even hold y'all, man. Raud, where can they find you at, my man? They know we're 8-star, man, but where can they find you at specifically?
So of course, doing some good old Dokkan content for you at least every day.
Of course,
Doing
of
some videos
course.
here and there. So I greatly appreciate my boy King Hitman inviting me here, and placement for Greg. Hopefully we can do this all three together and discuss some more Daima stuff.
Oh,
But
say
yeah,
less. I know
greatly-
he'll be about.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it. This episode was pretty good, so I'm very excited to see what the follow up is going to be. Let's see more Goku adventures over there. So having fun with it.
Yeah, man. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there. Episode 4, titled "Chatty." It is the Young King Hitman and the Mr. RaudoKun, man, and we are off this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Y'all already know what's popping.